snapshots.
Snapshot.
We'll look into the rest of the leagues here because we've been talking about Premier League a lot. Yeah. Let's talk about La Liga real quick. I'm just going to read off a few things, a few notes that I had after what I saw happen this weekend, which started with Atleti losing against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. Yeah. But they went on to win 1-0 against Osasuna on the weekend.
Whoopee, bro. Whoopee. we had one last tournament to where we could win silverware, which was the Copa del Rey, and we botched it, man. I watched the game. I was there in Madrid on my couch, genuinely hoping for a really good Atleti performance because this was it for me, man. I was so invested. This was our last opportunity to have a really positive end to the season. We would have gone to the semifinals, that much closer to potentially lifting the Copa del Rey. And we had a good first half. We actually had a really, really great first half. Griezmann was active, constantly getting on the ball, creating like he always does. He looked on it that day. Man. He looked really on it. And I was like, all right, bet. Griezmann's gonna have a good game. Let's go. I got really, really excited. But come towards the end of that second half, we just lost it. We lost that juice. We lost that firepower. We looked tired out there. We just couldn't ultimately keep up with Madrid. We had a good game, but for the course of the 90 minutes, our game management just wasn't there. We let Madrid back into the game. Goes to extra time, and then from there it was over.
No. Rodrigo scored a fucking beauty.
Oh, I was gonna get there.
Okay,
I was gonna get there.
We gotta get there.
No, I'm gonna get there. But I just want Atleti first. Atleti first, and I'll finish that. At the end of the day, we just did not have enough. Yeah. And my ultimate takeaway from that game was this season specifically, we cannot compete against big teams. Champions League was a disaster. Yeah. Any sort of quality that we face, we just can't play well. We'll have stints and spells throughout the game, but at the end of the day, I just don't fancy us winning, bro. Not even winning. And I haven't felt like that for the Atleti. I don't know if ever. I always think we have a chance. But this season has been kind of dire for me in that regard, where if we play a good team that's in form, I'm genuinely worried. Like, genuinely. And Madrid's not even that great form right now, but I knew we were going to have – I knew it was going to be a tough game. And we ended up losing, and I was just like, God damn it. Like, nothing's changing right now for Atleti. The results aren't changing. Yes, we can beat Osasuna. Yes, we can beat Cádiz and Elche and maybe get a good result against Betis maybe. But if we're playing like Sociedad, Barcelona, Real Madrid, any other European team, it's not working right now. It's just not working. We got Memphis Depay, though. We got Memphis.
Yeah. And Felipe is leaving, I believe. He's going to...
Is he?
He's going to Bournemouth or Nottingham Forest. I think it's Bournemouth.
Okay. Well, yeah, Felipe is one of the most inconsistent center backs I think I've ever witnessed. So I'm not even at all bummed by that. Damn, I wish him well.
That's his legacy right there.
I wish him well. Looks cool on the pitch.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. Looks
cool name.
Looks
I guess.
Cool, Felipe. But yeah, I'm just frustrated at the end of the day. But yes, Rodrigo's goal, filth, absolute filth, man. Back and forth between his feet. 1-2 gets past 3 Atleti players. A little feint, a little hip feint. Takes it on and then almost a little toe poke.
Yeah.
Curves it around the defender. Oblak can't even see it. What a dirty goal from Rodrigo, the super sub, yet again for Real Madrid. And I do just wonder, there's not just a little part of Rodrigo that's like, can I start more, coach?
Yeah.
Like, I know he starts, but it's usually because of rotation. If it's a big game, he's always on the bench. But he always plays. But I just wonder if Rodrigo, when he goes to bed at night, he's like, God, I had a good game. I wish I was starting more.
Yeah.
I just wonder. Because, my God, dude, some of the things he does out on that pitch, I actually don't see, like, any other player do. Rodrigo is talent at its rawest form.
Yeah, very.
So raw.
Very.
But, my God, when it works, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he had that sort of dribbling prowess to his skill set. Like, we saw it come to full fruition in that game, but I've never really truly known what's Rodrigo's, like, best attribute. Up until what I saw him do against Atletico Madrid. Like, he has a touch of magic to his game too. He's able to just kind of wake up all of a sudden, whether it's through a header to send Real Madrid past Man City in the Champions League semifinals, or if it's through a incredible dribbling display against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
He just finds ways to kind of become a dangerous offensive player. And I think I don't know. I still don't know who his comparison would be. I still don't know what he's best at, but I do know that he's just an incredibly dangerous player.
So dangerous. Another player that just kind of boggles my mind for Madrid, Camavinga, man. He's like the definition of an elite utility player. He can play in any position, I think, realistically. He ended up slotting into the left back position during that Atleti game, and then at the weekend in La Liga started as the left back because Ferland Mendy's out injured right now. But my takeaway from that was like, dude, Camavinga is so neutral. And here's what I mean by that. He's not a dribbler, but Camavinga can dribble. You know, He's not a passer, but he can do some nice tight passing. He's not a creator either, but if you need him to get offensively involved, he'll happily do it. See what kind of what I'm getting at? Camavinga, I think, genuinely can play anywhere out on the pitch. And him going to left back, when ideally he's a central midfielder, if not even a little bit more forward advanced, he looked completely comfortable there, as if that was actually his normal position. And it's just because he's so good on the ball, his IQ is so high at such a young age, and he just plays the game of football at a higher level than most professional footballers. Now, does he excel at one? Like I said, he's not a dribbler. You know, he's not like Rodrigo. He's not like Vinicius, like not even close. But again, he just has the ability to pretty much do anything with the ball. And since he has that neutrality, it doesn't hurt to not play him in his actual position. Because at the end of the day, well, you could just play Modric, Kroos, and
Valverde?
Yeah. You could just play Modric, Kroos, Valverde in that midfield three, and they can just operate, and then boom, you still can have Camavinga on the pitch just elsewhere. So one of the most interesting players, I think, positionally, because I don't even know if Camavinga has a favorite position anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't think so.
I wonder what he would prefer.
Right. Like, does he actually prefer a less offensive midfield position, or would he rather actually be more offensively involved? Yeah. I don't know. I can't tell. All I know is that he's an elite football player and that he deserves to be on Real Madrid 100%.
Yeah, I saw a number of Madridistas tweet out, Camavinga might be a better left back than Mendy himself.
Yes.
Like,
no, that's right.
When it just comes to a one-to-one comparison. I'm starting to look at Camavinga like, damn, if Courtois ever gets injured.
That's what I'm saying, man. And he's gonna look comfy.
He's gonna look good with some gloves on.
He's gonna like kiss the post. You know, he's gonna look comfortable out there, man.
Routines and everything. Man.
Yeah.
I do think he's one of the most fluid players that we have in the modern game right now.
Yeah.
But represents, I think, kind of the modern game itself in that you just. If you're a versatile player, you have so much to give in today's game, man. Yeah. All right, so in other news that happened in Spain, Sevilla finally have begun to win now, dude. They're starting to get these victories off. A 3-0 victory against Elche, who's also in the relegation zone, bro. Get this. 6 points total for Elche. The worst La Liga side right now with 0 victories, 6 draws, and 13 fucking losses, man. Yeah. This is a horrible team.
Dude,
horrible.
Winless. That's nuts,
19 games.
Man. I'd quit, I think.
Yeah.
I think I would just terminate my contract, just go, like, take the rest of the year off, and then find another club in the summer.
What a contrast, though, because I doubt any player in Elche can just go up to the GM and be like, I want out. Yeah. But a team that's winning, like I said, that's like, I want out, and they're just like, oh, okay. Yeah. But over there, they're like, I want out. And Elche's manager, whoever, is just like, you ain't going nowhere.
You're going to be playing the second division next year, man.
Yeah, watch your fucking mouth. Barcelona narrowly defeat Girona 1-0. Barcelona has only conceded 6 goals the whole season, man.
Yeah. I will say one thing about that. So watching that, and also I think they played Getafe.
Yes.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, midweek. Yeah, something like that. Actually, I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, I will say yes, Barcelona's defensive record is merited for sure, but they are getting a little lucky.
I agree.
They're getting a little. They're getting let off the hook, if you will. Now here's the thing: when in a title race, and at the end of the season you actually do lift it, there's a large element of luck throughout the entire season. I can attest to that because when Atletico won it a couple years ago, the first half of the season, we got lucky a lot. We really did. There were many moments where it was 1-1 and we just got like a crazy goal. And all of a sudden we got 3 points out of that match. Or it was like 2-1 we had it, but we were on the ropes. And the other opposing team just couldn't finish their chances. And at the end of the day, probably should have been 2-2, but we would get out with a 2-1 win. And I remember being aware of it too. I was like, dang, we're on a lucky run right now. But obviously it's still deserved because you still have to put the ball into the back of the net and then still defend. So it all is deserved. But I think Barcelona is on a similar wave right now. They're definitely getting lucky, especially against Getafe. Getafe should have scored at least 2 goals. Yep. At least. And they ended with nothing. And I was just like, God damn it. Like, Getafe, for as bad as they've been this season, could have drawn that game. And at the very least, should have scored. But they didn't. And Barcelona get off the hook and they win the game. Credit to Barcelona for continuing that trend. But yeah, they're on a wave right now. But again, props to them. It's what you kind of need to lift the trophy, especially if Madrid's kind of right behind you.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Barca fans that I follow express a lot of frustration with these 1-0 victories because it's getting very, very close. And it could be a sign of things to come if they don't fix it up. They got Dembele got injured in that game as well. He'll be out to, I believe, mid-February. So it isn't that long term. But on the flip side, Girona have Tati Castellanos, who has scored 4 goals so far this season.
4 out of, let's say, 20-ish?
Yeah, 4 goals.
Because if he gets close to 10 and even reaches 10, that's a huge success in my opinion.
That's ex-MLS player Tati Castellanos.
Okay.
Yeah. Last season didn't really go as well as I thought it would coming off of that transfer. He was still trying to find his footing. But this year, I think he's doing a lot better. Yeah. He's doing a lot better. And then the last La Liga update I have is Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad ends in a tie, a big result for Barcelona. And yeah, I think this kind of reemphasizes the point that a lot of Madridistas are making, where Madrid isn't in the top form that they usually are in right now. They're struggling a little bit, not enough to be truly concerned, I would say, but they are pulling out ties against Sociedad, for example, at home and leaving Barcelona with more room to breathe in that title race.
Yeah, watching Madrid, even against Atletico, and they did win it and they did deserve it. There is something off with him, 100%. I don't think it's Benzema. I think he's still finding good space, and when he does get an opportunity, he's still pretty clinical, I'm going to be completely honest. Where I think it's going wrong for Madrid is actually the midfield, man. Modric, Kroos are getting rotated a lot right now, and I think it's because there's a lot of fatigue in this team. But, I mean, it makes sense. The amount of Champions League runs that they've made in the last 5-6 years, and then when you have a guy like Luka Modric making the deep runs in the World Cups that he's done already back-to-back now, that's going to, I think, take a toll club level, especially when they're all in their 30s, Tchouameni's been out, so that's a miss right now for Madrid. And even more so, Valverde has been off, man, since the World Cup. He's
even during the World Cup, man.
Even during the World Cup.
Talk about it.
Well, yeah, no. and I hate it because I'm trying to just be open to the idea that maybe the opposition's getting him or something like that. But no, dude, he's off. Yeah. He's not touching the ball the same way. He's questioning his own decisions. He's nowhere near as offensive. And when he in that game against Atletico, Ancelotti basically subbed him out in the 70th or something like that minute, and Valverde went to the bench just upset. Not at Ancelotti, at himself. He put the shirt over his head, and he was just like, I'm playing like shit right now, is the vibe you got just by looking at him. Yeah. He's off, man. Yeah. And then I think to a lesser extent, but still to an extent, Vinicius is also off. Since the World Cup. I don't know what it is, but his penetration isn't as effective. Also, though, his decision-making in the final third is off, man.
That game against Atletico.
Oh, whack,
we got lucky to get a goal in that game because the team gave up. But
we gave up.
Before that, when the game was tied, where they were searching for that goal, his decision-making
was terrible.
Was awful, dude. I saw the commentators say, how many balls has Vinny Jr. given away this match?
It's been really bad.
Really bad passing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe I guess it's just players being out of form. Valverde, he started the season off so hot. Dude, I remember
he was so hot.
So many goals. Yeah, it is just a little weird what's going on at Real Madrid right now. They do have a matchup waiting for them in the Club World Cup first, but then I think in 1 week they face off against Atleti, Liverpool, and then Barcelona Something like that.
Shit.
Yeah, like in 1 week.
They got to figure it out quick.
In League One, we have RC Lens, who I've asked the viewers, the Give and Go viewers, to keep an eye on as they are in the title race right now with PSG. Got a tie against Troyes, I believe is how you say it.
Yeah.
75% possession in this game, 21 total shots, and it ended 1-1 with RC Lens having to win the point to tie the game, man.
Yeah.
Getting a goal in like the 85th minute after knocking on the door so many times, but a showcasing and how to have horrible finishing under pressure, because they were awful in that final third.
They were.
And they were stressing me the fuck out, man, because I'm out here knowing that they are the better team between these two, and they struggled so much. But ultimately, they ended up getting that 1 point, which is what mattered at the end of the day.
Yeah. Watching the game unfold was, I would say frustrating, because Lens throughout the entire game just kept going at Troyes. They just kept going at them, but really inefficiently. So they would get in really good wide positions, and then as soon as the opportunity was there, they'd throw it across.
Yeah.
They would just throw it in there, hoping that someone would get in there. Now, here's the thing. They had players in the box, so it's not like they were crossing it to nobody. There was intention there for Lens' offense. It just was not falling, like not even a little bit, bro. I want to look back and to see how many crosses they put into the box, bro, because, dude, it could be like well over 20. But the thing is, only one of them landed, and it was actually the goal. Yeah. The goal, diagonal cross, kind of,
which was still bizarre too.
Yeah, I know.
The keeper saved it, and it was off of a rebound.
It gets off a rebound,
yeah.
Exactly. So Lens really had to work in this game on the road against Troyes. But I think this is also kind of what I like about Lens. What I've realized that, especially in this game, that their offensive style is chaos. It's frantic, bro.
True.
And when it works, you can't keep up with it as a defense. You just can't. You succumb to the pressure, to the knocking on the door constantly, and you give in. And that's why Lens have been so successful this year, because they just go at you in so many different ways. Off the dribble, out wide, off the cross, or, maybe Openda just goes off with some really good dribble penetration. And then they have the midfield and the defense to kind of back it up too. But it's all done, dude, at such a high pace. And going into the second half, they lost a little bit of that energy, just a little bit. Now, they still kept that franticness about them, but I could definitely tell that they're like, shit, even they looked a little hopeless. Because they're like, it's not falling, boys. They're like, it's not falling right now, but they're like, we can't give up, and they didn't, but they definitely lost a little bit of oomph in that second half. And Troyes off the counter to go up 1-0, one of the most deadliest little counters.
Assholes, bro. God, man.
It was such a good counter goal, though.
Yes.
It really was. Mama Balde working all game long. All game long. Does a little bit of chaotic reception. Kind of fumbles it just a little bit, but then he regains it. Nice turn. Penetrates all the way down. Somehow the ball finds its way shifting to the other left side. Nice little through ball. And the left back, Lanusi, with a really nice finish. And at that point, I was like, no, this is what Troyes wanted. Absorb pressure and get one or two chances and try to make the most out of it. What's crazy, bro? Ronnie Lopez actually could have made the game 2-1. Maybe 2-0 or something.
2-0 right before they scored.
Yes, right before they scored. It could have been over for Lens if Lopez was just a better.
The finish was awful,
atrocious.
Bro. Awful.
Atrocious. And I actually, at that point, I was like, fuck it, Troyes, let's go. I really was. And when he skied the fuck out of it, I was like, I just couldn't believe it, man. Because it was a golden opportunity. But yeah, at the end of the day, Troyes do concede. Lens did get that goal. It was very well deserved. Troyes could have won the game. I think 1-1 was fair at the end of the day. Because low-key, Troyes defended pretty well. I'll give it that to him. So, yeah, lost points for Lens. But one thing I did realize, I looked after, Lens are perfect at home. 10 out of 10 wins.
With PSG already haven't been there.
Yes. So that's insane.
Yeah.
Where they're losing points, and it's obviously very clear, is on the road.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because, dude, have you seen their home game atmospheres?
Yes, dude.
Raucous as fuck.
It's like a McDonald's parade, bro.
Yeah, it's a parade. It really is. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's what gives them the energy to keep going harder in the second half.
Yeah.
I do think it is a huge proponent to their energy levels, the crowd in the Lon Stadium. And when they don't have that on the road, they look up to the stadium like, shit, we don't have our people here. So I definitely see why they lose points on the road. But they're still right there because PSG too dropped points this weekend.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, I still think that's a victory given the circumstances. Being away from home, down a goal, tying it up, and the last dying moments of the game is a victory in my opinion because PSG tied against Reims. Reims themselves having a crazy ass story with Balogun, the Arsenal loanee.
Yes.
11 goals. Did you know he's a dual nat for the USA?
Oh yeah, he was born like in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he
was born in New York.
Yeah.
He's like a triple nat. He could be a US player, he could be an England player, or he could be a Nigerian player.
Yes.
But it's looking like he's heading more towards the English route. So be it.
Arsenal
brother.
products.
Yeah. But
I get it.
Reims has their own crazy story, and I gotta look more into it. But you've seen that shit about their manager?
Yeah. Nuts.
Learned about the game through Football Manager.
Yes.
Doesn't actually have his pro coaching license, so they get fined 22,000 euros every game because their coach doesn't have the proper documents to be coaching the match or some shit like that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
It's crazy.
That is
man.
exactly what it is.
But he's out here pulling off insane ties against PSG,
Yeah.
1-1 with an at the death beautiful pass in and finish by Balogun, who just finally got that closing goal after the whole game being so aggressive, but just not being able to find that final product. I was watching him like, God damn it, Balogun, find it. And he finally found it in that last minute, man. Tying the game up.
Finally found it. Yeah, no, it was a really good through ball. A mistake by the 16-year-old Zaire Emery. Forget how old he is, but a mistake from the PSG young starlet. And it goes right to the Reims midfielder who just leads Balogun to glory. Really nice finish going around the keeper, kind of blasts it in. And yeah, he definitely deserved it, bro. He was working so hard in that game. And it is telling because you can tell he's a Premier League striker. Like just the way that he carries himself and the pace that he constantly makes runs at. Like, oh, this guy he's like built from the Premier League, now plying his trade on loan in France. But I'm so glad he's having a good season because his runs are actually really, really intelligent. And he's such a big, imposing figure on the pitch. The fact that he couples it with the ability to finish, I think he could have a really good, successful career. Maybe not with Arsenal since, he's going to have to compete with Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus. That's really tough. He can. I think he can, but I'm really glad he's having a really successful season. But to go back to Reims' coach, William Steele, dude, he's 30. 30.
God damn.
Yeah, and he became like he is right now the youngest top flight coach in Europe. His first top managerial position was he was 28. It's ridiculous. Wow. And he started being a video analyst as an assistant manager in Belgium when he was 24.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Insanely young from a managerial perspective. Ever since taking the helm, so Oscar Garcia was the coach at Reims at the start of the season. He took over from Garcia and is now on a 12-game unbeaten streak.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Crazy, bro.
Shit.
But here's the thing. Watching the game, I was so impressed by them. I really was. They had no fear.
They outplayed PSG.
They really did. The first 35 minutes of the game, Reims were the better team, and by a large margin too. The only reason why it was 0-0 going into the second half was because Donnarumma made two really, really good saves. And the finishing from Reims was just a little off. Just a little off. They were a little bit more clinical. They would have had a lead going into the first half, going into the second half. But the way that they played, I thought was so fluid, so dynamic. I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. Junya Ito, probably one of my favorite players at the World Cup, just gliding down that wing. And then on the other side, you have a player that I've never seen play before, but French guy named Flips. Really crafty midfielder. Always touching that always hugging that touchline, touching that hug line. Always hugging that touchline, but he's not a winger. He doesn't use pace to beat you. He beats you with just pure dribbling or passing ability. He's so crafty, but his accuracy off the pass, dude, it's pinpoint. There's a moment for like 10, 15 minutes where he was just sending nonstop dimes into the box, and Marquinhos and Ramos were getting stretched, bro. Like, he made them be 5-star defenders.
Yeah.
Like, he really made them earn their wage that day. And same with Balogun, just constantly harrying them in that as a center forward position. But another player that really stood out too, man, Zimbabwean Munetsi, I think is his name. Dude, box to box as hell. But what I loved about him was his enthusiasm, dude. Just there'd be one play where he's just doing a crazy harsh slide tackle, and then he'd be sprinting to get it on the end of a cross on the other end offensively. Such an eager midfielder, and I love seeing that type of energy, dude. And he backed it up with some really good play too. Yes. I love this team, by the way. Like, I'd not see them play this year. So I'm really high on them right now, but dude, they really impressed me. Another player that I want to highlight, Kajust, the Swedish midfielder who was a part of that really talented Midtjylland team a couple years ago. Dude, just operating in that midfield, but he was just balling out, dude. When Reims had really good spells throughout that game, Kajus was a big proponent as to why they were able to hold on to the ball and then also just distribute it out to Ito or to Flips, or maybe slip a pass through to Balogun. Just such a fun midfielder, and I've always been a fan of him ever since he was in Denmark, and I love that jump. Danish football, the French football, it's a big one, but he's doing really well at it. It really is a big one. It's more low-key for sure, but I love it. And Munetsi, he came to this team from the South African League.
What?
Crazy jump.
Whoa.
Yeah. Crazy jump. And he's just out there playing for this 30-year-old Belgian coach.
Damn.
It's nuts, man. Yeah. And then another player that also stood out was the center back, Ivory Coast, Agbadou. Dude, he locked up Neymar and Mbappe several times throughout the match where they tried to get past him, but he got him. He's a really good one-on-one defender. Really, really impressed me. And he too started in Africa in the Tunisian league, made it a jump to Belgium, and is now here in France. So this team is made up of a lot of different types of players. But my God, does Williams still have this team just performing at a really fucking high level
and getting a huge tie to keep the title race close. With that, they essentially cancel each other out for the weekend, and the dream continues for RC Lons, man. That's what's going on over in Ligue. Keep an eye on that. Bundesliga is getting fun, though. Bundesliga is getting fun, man.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's a 3-point gap between first place and fifth place, man.
Yeah.
If anything, this might be the hardest Bayern will have to work for a title in a long time, man, because they have some potential contenders here that are on their heels challenging them, especially because Bayern has not been playing well recently. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
Well, it showed again with them tying Frankfurt 1-1. Kolo Muani getting one of the coldest fucking goals I've seen at the Allianz Stadium, man. It was beautiful. Did you see a celebration?
I did.
See when he scored a goal? He tied the game up late in the game, and his celebration was so cold. He just scored, and then he just stands and just looks at the opposing fans. But he's just looking, and he's just taking it. They showed a wide shot of like just all the fans just screaming their asses off at him, all anti-Frankfurt, and he's just there taking it until the rest of his team catches up with him because it was off of a counterattack that they scored. They were coming, but he just stood there menacingly just saying, "I got you, fuckers." Damn. And he made a statement because, bro, he has 7 goals and 10 assists in the Bundesliga this season. The leading assist provider so far, and the leader in goals and assists combined. That's crazy because I really didn't know much about him until what I saw in the World Cup. And to see him just, kind of be the next one up for France, or another big name for them to have, is incredible, dude. So he's having a great freaking season.
Yeah, his pace is relentless, man. It really is. He low-key reminds me of Mbappe's style of play.
A little bit,
where he's just like, give me the ball in space and I will get there. And then from there, he's actually pretty good on the ball, man.
Right, because he completely took Upamecano one-on-one just on the side and just in the box, one-on-one says, I can beat you. I'm faster and I'm going to get the goal. And it was, you're right, dude. And now I'm thinking about it, I could have been superimposed Mbappe's head into that goal and it would have made complete sense. Damn, dude. I'm excited to see his growth just throughout this league and to see if he makes any future moves.
Yeah. What a find by Frankfurt, though.
Yeah.
What a find. He's really blossomed this season.
Likewise, on the rest of the league, though, with the other contenders, Union Berlin defeated Hertha.
Yeah.
In the Berlin Derby, man.
Oh, okay.
Hertha currently in the relegation zone, and it's not looking like they're going to get out, man. Yeah. That's a team that plays in the Olympiastadion, man, where the 2006 FIFA World Cup final was held. In my opinion, one of my favorite stadiums of all time. Just going to be playing in the second division of Germany, I guess, man.
Shit.
That's where this dream comes to end.
Yeah.
I followed Hertha, funnily enough, like 6 years ago when I tried to get into German football, and I just liked their team.
Yeah.
And that was just when they had recently been promoted, I believe. So they've had a good, 5 to 7 year stint in the Bundesliga so far, but it's looking like that might be coming to an end. With Union Berlin showing up to their rival stadium and getting just a super dominant victory, just goes to show the weak quality that Hertha has this season, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm looking specifically right in the faces of Leipzig, Freiburg, Union Berlin, and hell, even Dortmund right now, because this is it. This is the perfect opportunity to take down the dynasty that is Bayern Munich. If they don't do it now, they won't do it for another 10 years, man. This has to be the weakest Bayern team just overall. And I think it's because I think Bayern themselves are going through a transitionary period. Thing is, at the end of the day, right now, currently, they're still top of the table. But it's so tight. These other teams have such a good chance, man. They just got to stay consistent, get good results, not just against the lower portion of the table, but against each other, man. There's going to have to be a point where either Berlin, Freiburg, Leipzig say, all right, fuck it. No matter who we face, we're beating them. Even Bayern. There's got to be that moment, man. I haven't seen it yet, but there's still obviously an entire half of the season left to be played. So it can happen, but this is it. I'm telling them right now, this is it. Take your opportunity.
Dude, no, and not just that, Bayern is wounded, bro. Pavard not at his best form. Lucas Hernandez out.
Yeah.
Manuel Neuer out for the season. Sadio Mane still trying to recover as well.
Oh, yeah.
You have a number of names, bro. Goretzka also injured too. Yeah. They're out for Bayern. Take advantage right now. It's also why they've been tying too. They are wounded, man. Yeah. Shoot them, bro. Pull the trigger. End it, man. This is the chance. If not, like you said, the repercussions could be immense. Last Bundesliga game I want to talk about was Bayer Leverkusen versus Borussia Dortmund. I had forgotten that Xabi Alonso is leading Bayer Leverkusen, man.
Yeah.
I've completely forgotten.
Yeah.
But I wanted to check on them to just kind of see what they're brewing up over there. And he has the team playing well. They actually outplayed Dortmund on the day, but Dortmund was just more clinical with their finishing. They had way less opportunities, but they were just more clinical and able to put it past the net with specifically Karim Adeyemi getting his first goal for Dortmund in 14 games.
Yeah.
That's bad, bro. That's bad in my opinion, man. I don't know. I expected a little bit more. I was aware that he came from the Austrian league for RB Salzburg, but I just thought he'd come in and have a little bit more firepower to his game, but he's actually struggled to settle into this team and into this league.
He has.
Hopefully this can give him the confidence to start building some sort of momentum. But when I heard the commentator say, it's Adeyemi's first goal, and they celebrate it as a happy moment.
Right.
I was like, this is anything but happy, man. He's got to get going now.
Long overdue. It is interesting, though, because I haven't seen Dortmund that much this season, but I do wonder how they're utilizing him. Because my biggest thing with Adeyemi is where you play him positionally. I think Adeyemi, at least from what I saw at Salzburg, was incredibly effective when he was just a lot more central and direct. When he would go out wide, I don't think he really has the tools to be an effective winger. So I'm curious to see how Dortmund are using him. Are they using him as like a striker, maybe a secondary striker, or are they just putting him out wide and just having him be a threat out there? I don't know. I'd have to catch a Dortmund game, but I do wonder if it's the positional play that's factoring in as to his success or not. I wonder.
Yeah. Last thing I want to check in on is Serie A and really just one game.
I'm done with that league, bro.
One game.
I'm done with that league.
It's done. It's done. Juventus versus Monza. Monza picked apart Juventus, bro. which is a crazy sentence to say about a racetrack, bro. A racing brand, Monza, grilling Juventus 2-0. Their second goal was a thing of absolute beauty with Carlos Augusto making a beautiful run in that midfield, bro, handing it off to Dani Mota for an insane finish, man. I see producer pulling it up right now.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it, bro. That
second goal was just an insane combination of touches from everybody involved, leading to just that killer final goal for Monza to take the lead and defeat Juventus 2-0. So yeah, Juve's in the dirt. In the dirt, bro. And we knew this. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to affirm it and say Juve's in the dirt. And yes, put our final stamps onto Serie A because maybe we don't talk as much about it anymore, man.
Yeah.
Because this league is done. It was fun, bro. It was a fun first half of the season.
Absolutely.
Napoli and AC Milan being close as well. But, bro, I saw AC Milan lose 5-2 to Sassuolo this past weekend as well. The league's done, bro.
And I saw Milan lose 4-0 a couple days before that. They've conceded 9 goals in 2 games, bro.
Yeah.
And they were second place before the Lazio game.
Yep.
Crazy.
If anything, we'll just be celebrating Napoli in the race to the Scudetto.
Dude, Scudetto win for Napoli finally, man. It's gonna hit.
Yeah.
I'll be there when they have the trophy celebration.
About it, man. We should think. I think it'd be because this is one of those things where we know in advance, bro. We can plan this out like 4 months.
We can plan the fuck out.
We can actually plan it out and go to Italy and celebrate, bro.
Damn, it's gonna be a big moment for Napoli fans for sure. That's dope.
That's it for leagues. Actually, I do have one more. I have the Super League in Turkey. If you want to hear about a little update there.
Sure, why not?
Ender Valencia scores 4 goals for Fenerbahce against Kasimpasa.
Sure.
He is putting up Holland numbers in this league. 19 goals and 4 assists in 17 matches, bro. That's Holland shit.
What?
19 goals and 4 assists. Second closest is Fabio Borini with 12 goals.
Yeah.
That's the Harry Kane of the league.
Yeah. Ex-Liverpool player.
Yeah. And Ender Valencia is paired up alongside Michy Batshuayi as well.
Yeah, okay.
And so they have they have some firepower up there, but they easily slapped up Kasimpasa 5-1. But Ender Valencia had 4 goals in that game. The second one specifically being one of pure class. I think he's just going to be one of those players that no matter how old he gets and how little energy he has to give, that class is going to be permanent for him, man.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're at the barbecue and you just throw him the ball, he's just going to do a little something that's cheeky with it.
Top bins
casually, but he can't actually put in a full 90 anymore.
Right.
But Ender Valencia, once again, just showing that he's a Liga MX legend, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Those are the numbers that he put up for Pachuca when he was on the come up.
Yeah.
And he's doing that now in the latter stage of his career in Turkey. Dope.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.